Hey guys, holy shit, kind of an impromptu thing. I sent Joe a message saying, hey, I know you're super busy and I think it would be awesome if I could go ahead and still do the interview with you and shit to shit. And he's like, oh, I'm free right now. So I'm going to go ahead and try and get a hold of Joe through Facebook Messenger and get this in, man. I mean, holy shit, what a total surprise and shock, and I'm super ecstatic about this. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna send Joe a couple messages and see what we can do, because this is pretty fucking spectacular. So thank you very much, guys, again for holding on and digging in with me. Hopefully I'll be able to do more of these with the guys as well. Joe, Kyle, David, and Matt, all alike. Hopefully I'll be able to get Joe on the line right now. I'm going to go ahead and send some messages. Hold on, guys. Hello?
Hey, Don.
Joe, how you doing, brother?
Good, bro. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks a lot for joining me, man. I appreciate it. Real quick, just let's jump right into it. How goes the new album?
It goes great, man. We got a bunch of stuff going for it, so it's good, dude. It's kind of experimenting. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. It's like we're writing a lot of songs so we can pick from them. So we're trying a lot of things, and that way we can pick what we like from it. And we're trying some different stuff, and so it's going good.
That's fantastic, but, man. I know there's a ton of people ready for some new stuff coming out from you guys, so we're all really looking forward to it. For me, this is just kind of like a sit back, shoot the shit kind of thing, and kind of have a quick conversation. I've got some questions that I got from some folks in Dead Nation.
Okay, awesome.
So, and I've got some for myself too. So, one of the first ones I've got is, the last time I saw you guys was at the Bottom Lounge in Chicago with my wife and kids. And
yeah, that was awesome.
It was, man. It was a great show for me. It was a great show for my kids. The kids love meeting you guys, man. It was awesome, and they keep talking about it still. But did you ever think that you would have people, like my son is 7 years old and I'm over 50. Did you ever think that you'd have that broad age range listening and loving what you guys are doing?
I don't know. I guess I never put any thought into it. I think it's great though. I love that it's so broad. I even look at it on our Spotify stats. It's a really wide age range. So it's cool, man. I mean, I don't know how you shoot for it. I think you just make whatever music you make, and then whoever likes it. So yeah. But I love it. I mean, I think it's great because then it ushers in a new generation of kids, and then you also have people that know damn well what they like, as an adult, and so I think it's great, man. Obviously the door's open and we welcome anyone in, so yeah. So you guys are working on the new album, and you guys are hanging out in Vegas and doing that. We heard some of this, we saw or we heard Watch and Wave at some of the latter shows on the tour that you guys were on with War Within. Now, what are the chances that we might hear Watch a Wave on the new album? There's a chance. We haven't tracked it. We haven't tracked it yet. I mean, we have a demo of it that we did, but we haven't tracked it or anything. So a lot of it is just we're piecing a lot of things together. So we're doing demos, we're tracking, we're doing all kinds of weird stuff. We're really just taking our time, kind of, just to make sure that it's everything we want it to be. The last album we had so much time to get it ready and make it, a true expression of things. And so, this time, we're just kind of taking our time with it. And that one, I love that song. We all still love that song, but we'll just have to see, if it ends up making the cut or not. But we just wanted to play something new, for everybody, because, I know a lot of people had seen us by that time.
Right.
That was the end of the album cycle. We'd played a lot of the songs already live, so we thought we'd throw a new one in there, as well as it was fun for us to play a new song that we were feeling, so it was kind of a win-win.
That's awesome, man. It's it was great to see that at be one of the first people to hear you guys sing that and see you guys perform it down in Chicago. And
right on.
it was, I mean, just that show in and of itself was just really kick-ass. Like I said, my kids were there. It was kind of a whole family thing for me. My wife got to meet you guys. She got all fangirly and everything. And she loved it. She loves you guys very much. You know, that's one of the things that I think has help bring my family together is kind of dead, man. That's
killer.
It is. It's something that we gravitate towards, and it's something that's kind of central to all of us. So we want to thank you guys for putting that out there for us too.
That's great, man. I mean, again, something that we can't really intend on happening, but if it does, then that's great. I know music has done that for me before as well. Like, you know, me and my parents as well. It's music, because that's the thing about music is it's universal and it's something that anyone can bond over. I mean, I could talk to somebody about music for days. You know, like whether I agree with them on a million other things or whatever. If we start talking about music, it's like, I don't know, I just light up. You know, I get excited. It's my passion. You know, so I'm glad you guys share that as well. It's killer.
Yeah, and your passion shows. I mean, when you guys are doing your shows, it shows through all of you guys when you guys are up there, and putting on your show and giving your all for us, man, and we appreciate that too. So I got another question for you, brother. You guys basically live in a white van for months and months and months on end. So what's life like being in that? And do you have any funny stories from the trips?
Oh man, yeah. I'm usually bad with like coming up with remembering stories and stuff like that. There's a lot of crazy things that have happened, and usually if like somebody will say like remind me of one, I can run with it and tell the story. But you know, right now it's hard to think of that. But it is you know, it's fun though, because we're all great, you know, best friends, and we have a good time doing it. And then there's times where you're a little frustrated with it. I mean, it's just life. You're just you're a human, and so it's you know, I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
You guys take turn driving?
Yeah, we'll switch around. You know, everybody likes, you know, if someone's feeling it, they'll do it. If not, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, we all do all kinds of stuff.
What kind of music do you guys listen to on the road?
It's a pretty wide mix. You know, like if I'm up, like driving late at night, and I'm getting a little tired, I'll put on some really heavy stuff to like just get me pumped and get me going. Or, I mean, just like honestly, the most stuff we listen to that I can think of, like off the top of my head, we listen to a lot of Tom Petty.
Awesome.
And Tom Petty's greatest hits, that kind of thing. We listen to a lot of John Mayer, actually.
Oh,
we listen to a lot of like chill stuff. We'll put on like oldies like Marvin Gaye and Al Green and stuff like that. Because especially on tour, man, like it's 5 or 6 hours every night of like heavy ass music with whoever we're playing with, you know, us included, with everybody else. So you're kind of spent on that a little bit. You kind of want to, like, you know what I mean? It's like when you get off of work or whatever at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the night, I'll put on some jazz. I'll put on just some chill stuff that I don't have to think about, you know, that kind of thing. So,
and that makes total sense.
Then, and then, you know, if we're having a couple beers or whatever, we'll listen to some, you know, Run the Jewels or whatever. We'll listen to some hip hop, or we'll listen to, you know, whatever it is. But it's all over the board pretty much. And it really depends on who's running it too, because everybody kind of has their own style, their own flavor. Sure. And then we also really like to listen to new playlists and really stay up to date on what's coming out. Like every Friday or whatever, we'll do like our Spotify thing where it suggests things to us and you know, that kind of thing. So we'll always like to hear what everybody's putting out and, you know, stay current with all that stuff. So
that's awesome. And it's I love to hear that you guys have the diversity and that it's not just one thing that keeps you guys going, because, you know, it's so easy to, as a fan especially, because fans can be kind of channeled into what they like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And to hear that one of your favorite artists, one of my favorite artists, you guys, is kind of all over the board, kind of brings some inspiration for me to try things that maybe aren't necessarily in my comfort zone as music too. So that's awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, there's so much music out there, and, you know, there's stories inside those songs. Right. There's just so much inspiration waiting for anyone, you know, and I really look at it like it's a soundtrack to my life. So I'll put on something that makes sense for a soundtrack, like as if my life was a movie sometimes. And it'll become that soundtrack to my life. A song will bring you back to a scene in your life, you know, and that kind of thing. And you know, I just feel like there's so much to indulge in, you know, in different genres. I really love hardcore and punk music for the lyrics. I feel like it's the most honest, like legit lyrics that there are in any genre, really, in my opinion. But then I love great melodies. I love, you know, poppier stuff too. I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head right now, but I mean, there's, you know, I always get put on the spot like that. I can't think of it, but you know, there's just so many good things to have out there, and yeah, you know, I'll go through times, like I can think of times where I only listened to The Doors for like 2 months straight. I was just obsessed with Jim Morrison. Or like I only listened to Every Time I Die for like a year. You know, I'll do stuff like that where I'll get way into something, but you know, it's always cool to mix it up and you know, and I'm not embarrassed about anything I listen to, because if I enjoy it, that there's no apologizing for that. You know, and I think that's for everybody. There shouldn't be any guilty pleasures. If it's just a pleasure, that's it. You know.
Right. I totally agree with that. And you know, it does, you know, I got another question on that. You just kind of opened up my mind a little bit when you were talking about that. When you're doing recording, does what you're listening to, what you're into at that point in time, does that influence what you're recording to?
Yeah, I think that's very very relevant definitely on the first album, we were definitely into a thing. You know, we were trying to do something, and we still love all that music, and we love those artists as well. But now, it's been 2 or 3 years since we were writing those songs, and we've listened to a lot of music since then. And we have tastes now, and we don't want to exactly replicate what we did on the last one. So there will be familiarities, of course, and then it's still the same people playing the music, so there's going to be that as well. But man, I think I ran away too far from your question to remember what it was exactly.
That's all right, dude. It's no problem. It was just basically, does what you're listening to while you're doing, you know, your recording sessions, does what you're kind of the channel that you're into, whether it's jazz or whether it's something funky or whether it's something hip hop, does that play a part in what you're recording? It
definitely does. I think that's for a lot of people too. Maybe not for everybody, but I could say for me, I know that stuff goes into your brain and it comes out. You know, it doesn't really leave, whether it's conscious or subconscious. I think it gets into your brain, and you kind of you get that influence. You know, I think you throw that ingredient into the mix of the meal that you're cooking, and you're going to taste it. I think so.
That's awesome. That's a great analogy. So, you know, Misanthrope, dude, I think was probably a really kick-ass album for you guys, and I think it's been very, very well received. So, you know, after seeing how well received it's been, how does it make you feel knowing how many people identify with what you guys have put out there in just that one LP?
I mean, it's killer. It's awesome. I mean, I love it. You know, it's you know, it's like, it's the goal, you know, I think really ultimately, even though it wasn't really the goal initially, but you know, it's part of the goal is to affect people and share. You know, sharing ideas, sharing sonic ideas, you know, to go out and tour and meet everybody, you know, a handful of times. I know I met you a couple times, and, you know, a lot of people. And, you know, it feels great. It feels great to have people enjoy it. And, you know, I've been playing music for a long time, and you know, every single time it never gets old to have people enjoy your music. You know, you enjoy it yourself. That's usually how it starts, you know, any artist, and that's anybody out there. People in their basement making music and putting it on, you know, on the internet, and whether they're releasing it through anything. Like, you do it first because it makes you feel good. You love it. It makes you feel happy. And then you put it out there and you hope it does the same thing for other people, just like a movie or whatever it is, and whatever medium you're into, you know. So it feels great. And, you know, there's a little bit of extra pressure to do it again, you know, but at the same time, we just can't be sitting here trying to make everybody happy, and not make ourselves happy too, because I don't think you get a good product when you do that. And if you don't like it and they don't like it, then no one wins. So I think that's to start with us liking it first, just like the other one. And you know, I think if, you know, once those songs get our seal of approval, just like the first album got our seal of approval, then I imagine it would be the same type of thing, and hopefully even bigger than last time, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, it's been huge. And, you know, I'm gonna kind of bring it back to Dead Nation for a second. When you guys put together Dead Nation, did you think ever for 1 minute when you guys were putting this together to start out with that it would turn into this big gigantic metal family that it's become?
No, again, it really is the same thing that I've been saying about the other stuff too. Is that you have good intentions and you want to do these things, but you really can't plan on what's going to happen with it. So
Right.
no, I did not know that it was going to be as tight knit and as organic and beautiful. To me, it is. It's awesome. And I've seen, I'm always in there just snooping around, and I'll
Right.
try to like people's stuff or comment here and there. I haven't been on in a while just because I've just been so busy with
Right.
trying to make music and stuff.
Sure.
But I love it, man, and I love the reaction. I love how important it is to everybody, and that's why, honestly, that's because I haven't been in there much. I wanted to call you and do this with you.
I appreciate that.
And I want to make sure that this only stays in Dead Nation too. I'm not doing any press for anything else right now, so I think this is cool. And I appreciate your passion and the fact that you want to, do this and put this together to put it in there. That's how it is, because even for me, like, I'm a music fan too. And when I hear something I love, I'll call all my friends, I'll send it to everybody. I want to make people, I want to show it to people and have them feel how I feel when I hear something.
Right.
That's why we share things,
Right.
That movie made me super scared. You got to watch this. You're going to feel scared. That
Right.
movie made me cry, whatever it is, So, I just love the sharing of art. I mean, it's awesome. And I think that's what this community is for. And that's to be one of the, proponents of that is amazing.
Yeah. Dead Nation has really become, I mean, it's legit become kind of a family for a bunch of us. We become, some of us are more close knit than others, but it seems like, people go through hard times, and when people go through
Right.
hard times, it seems like we all rally around each other and we help each other out. And it's all because of the, how do I put it? It's all because of the it started with your group, Dead Nation,
Right.
but it's kind of evolved, and it's evolved around you guys too, because the whole thing is centered around you guys, but we wouldn't have come together if it weren't for you guys. And I think there's a lot of thanks from all of us for you guys, towards you guys for that, because it's created a lot of genuine friendships. And I know that they're, personally speaking, without Dead Nation, that there would be some holes in my life at this point, and I feel like most of those holes have been filled with what you guys have done musically, hanging out with you guys, and then meeting these folks from Dead Nation. And I think the Bottom Lounge show in Chicago was probably one of my most favorite times of my entire life. I'm 50 years old, and I can't think of a better time that I've had than hanging out with you guys and hanging out with about 25 of us from Dead Nation that showed up at that show.
Right. Yeah, that was a great. I remember that night was awesome. I remember there were so many of us there, and so many of you guys there. And I mean, but it's really us. It's all of us. We were all there, and yeah. I appreciate that you saying that, and I'm happy that you've been affected by it that way. And I have times like that as well. For me, certain shows are my favorite. That is one of them.
Right.
That was a great show as well. And then I even have times, maybe when I was younger, when I went to a show or whatever it is,
Right.
and I'll never forget it. And I remember, I'm not sure exactly how you feel or whatever, but I remember feeling just complete almost bliss,
Right.
watching a certain band or whatever it is. There was a special time where I watched Incubus from Side Stage a long time ago, and I'll
That's
never
amazing.
forget how I felt. And I never forget the crowd and the air and all those things. And there's just certain moments in life that will stick with us, like that. And they're great things to kind of call back on and hark back on, and just, you just feel alive,
Right.
That's what it is. And I'm happy to be a part of that.
Well, I know.
Thank you for saying so. I appreciate that. I mean,
Oh.
that's awesome. That gives my purpose even more meaning.
I
So
Yeah, well, and thank you guys. I mean, without you guys, this whole group that we have together wouldn't exist. So, I mean, it all starts from you guys and you guys coming together and making music and doing what you do. So you said something about, about crowds. I'm gonna kind of turn the tables on you. You said you were at side stage at Incubus and then looking down at the crowd. And I've been side stage at a couple shows too, and looking down at the crowd, man, it's kind of a magical thing watching the look on people's faces when they're actually like so deep into what's happening, just like the euphoric bliss that's happening. So when you're up on stage and you're looking down at the crowd, what are some of the things you love to see when the people are looking up at you?
Yeah. Well, stage oftentimes is a bit of a blur because you're performing, you're up there, I'm having my own experience as well as everybody else having, because we're all inside of these bodies and we're experiencing everything. We have all these senses and everything. So I'm having my own experience, and but when I look down and I do take that moment, maybe when I'm breathing or just whatever it is, I love to see people singing. I love to see the mosh pit going. I love to see, anything like that, heads bobbing, maybe seeing somebody like tap their friend and be like, yo, what the fuck is this? Check this out. We've seen all those kinds of things. And, so any of those things, any sort of reaction, as long as everybody isn't standing there like they're bored, because then it makes me feel like my job isn't getting done. And then, that kind of thing. But if everybody's just standing there and indulging and just taking it in, that's okay too, honestly. But obviously, I'm big on energy at those shows. It's my chance to release my energy, and hopefully, fill someone else up with some energy. And then when the crowd is reacting and doing similar things, there's just all this energy in the room, and we're all feeding off of each other, and it just makes it this huge, unified, amazing experience. So,
yeah, it's been my experience too. I mean, especially at some of the shows that I've been at, for instance, the first time I was exposed to you guys live was at Sonic Boom in Janesville a couple years ago, and you guys were one of the very first acts to go on that day, and it was amazing because you guys hit the stage, and I actually have a buddy who works for JJO that does the whole show. And I sent him a text within. You guys opened up with Architect, and from the moment I heard "Get Up and Fucking Go," within 2 minutes, I was texting my friend saying, "Dude, these guys could headline someday, and I hope they do." The energy that you guys bring is just absolutely amazing, and it's got to be exhausting to do that day in and day out and put yourself in that zone. And make that happen, because you're not making it happen for yourself necessarily. You're making it happen for everybody watching you. How draining is that, man?
Well, it is a mix. It is a mix. It is for ourselves as well, because I love it. We love it. It's like it feels. It's just amazing. And what it really is too in those moments, I think the breakdown of it is it's like an exercise, or it's like, you get these endorphins and you get all this release, and you just feel great when you're playing music, and you shut off your thinking mind or your worry, and all that shit goes away while you're on stage. So it really is a beautiful thing for us to do. It is exhausting because you are, putting a lot of energy out there. Right. But it's also like addictive in a way too, where you love it, and it's a good addiction though. It's like the good kind, like working out or something like that, So you can get tired some days. I'm more tired than others, but then usually once the show starts and I'm a song or two in, if I am tired, I'm pretty wide awake. I'm pretty ready to go.
Gotcha.
Most of the time, like we're ready to play music. I mean, it's what we love to do. So there's really not a lot of times, even then we toured a lot, and none of us have ever toured that much actually. So there were times where it was hard. Right. But yeah, for the most part, it's just what we do, and that's it.
So when it comes to playing gigs, And you guys have played, big ass festivals where you've got tens of thousands of people in front of you, and you guys have played smaller venues where you've got 500, people in front of you, or maybe even less. Do you have a preference on what you like to play? Is it nicer to play the smaller venues because you can get a little more up close and personal? Or is it just like completely mind blowing to you guys to go ahead and look out when you're screaming to Architect or Remember the Enemy or whatever, and look out and see 10,000 people bouncing up and down to your music?
Well, they're both special. I mean, the festivals are pretty incredible. And we're very thankful that we got to be a part of those, and that we're gonna do more. We have a couple booked this year that are gonna be pretty awesome already. But a show where it's all tight and I'm like right next to people and I can touch them and they can grab me and I can get the mic in their face and we can get real close with each other. And there's something really special about how close that is. And then there's something about the festival so it's more like, I don't want to say quality over quantity. That's not really the right way to put it.
Sure.
But something about that festival when there's that many people and there's that much energy happening, and then you're out in the elements. And I love nature. I love, seeing the sky, if it's the sunset or the sun's out or if it's cloud, whatever, raining, or I don't care. Like, I love being out in the elements. There's something primal about that. And I love that as well, especially with metal music. And rock and roll, or, whatever you call it, whatever we are. So I really do appreciate both for what they have to offer. And I think really, the balance is great. To do both is cool with me. I wouldn't want to do more of one or the other. I think the balance is good, and I think that's a big thing in life is balance. So yeah, I appreciate them both for what they have to offer.
That's an awesome answer, dude. That's like a lot more than I expected, but I'm not surprised by that answer at all. So I'm gonna turn it just a little bit. So you guys recently, within the last few months, right? Did you guys each get dead tattoos on yourselves?
Yeah, we all got dead. We did we did a Halloween show in Flagstaff, and we all got dead tattoos out there. Yeah.
Gotcha. So other people have dead tattoos. How does that make you feel knowing that people are inked with your logo and they're going to have that forever? And then, I mean, not only that, but wearing your merch all over the place. I mean, what that's got to give some kind of like a swell of pride, especially when you see somebody who's inked with your logo.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I always, I think it's awesome. People get lyrics tattooed and everything. I'm always trying to keep my ego in check, so I try not to make myself feel too special or anything with something like that. I have tattoos of Alkaline Trio and Every Time I Die and some different band out, Bob Marley, some of my favorite stuff. Right. Bob Marley's another one we listen to a lot in the van too.
Fantastic.
But anyway, yeah. So I mean, I have, and what it is to me is those bands or the artists, and I could get a million more, I'm sure, and I probably will. They're important to me, and it's something that's important to me, and to be that for somebody else is great. It feels great. But like I said, I don't try to make myself feel too special. But I love it. It obviously feels great, and if it's something that they love and they feel that passionate about it that they want to do it, then I love it. Obviously it's a cool thing.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of move into some more lighthearted, fun stuff here instead of the deep stuff. So, are you a bigger fan of the DC or Marvel universe?
Okay, cool. All right, I like these questions. This is good. I'd probably have to say ultimately Marvel. The Punisher is my favorite of all time.
Absolutely.
He's always been my favorite. Yeah. I collected Punisher, War Journal, and like all the Punisher stuff growing up. I was big into that. I love Batman as well.
Awesome.
And I'm not just trying to base it on the movies either, because obviously Marvel is definitely. I think the movies are better. Right. But as far as the comics go, and then I was always a huge Lobo fan too, growing up as well.
That's fantastic.
He was just gnarly, and he was kind of a heavy metal guy. So yeah, but I would say probably Marvel And I loved Wolverine as well. I think I liked the more like, violent badass guys for whatever reason.
So, okay, on that same note then, who is your favorite superhero?
Well, the Punisher is my favorite of all time ever.
Got it.
He's not. I don't know if he's a superhero though necessarily, because he doesn't really have any superpowers. He's kind of just a vigilante almost. But it would probably be like if it was a superhero, it would be Lobo or Wolverine probably.
Awesome. So now, you guys are also known for the contacts, right? Everybody knows you but when you're wearing those contacts, are they going to be a forever thing, or are you guys going to retire those?
I'm going to leave that one up to. Yeah, I can't comment on that.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah. And dude, my last question for you is pretty simple. It's really a very, very easy question, but it's highly controversial all at the same time. Should pineapple go on pizza?
I know it's been a topic recently. I've been seeing it around. I'm fine with people putting whatever they want on pizza, because actually my favorite pizza is like barbecue chicken pizza. I like barbecue sauce on pizza. I love barbecue chicken pizza. Yeah, I'm okay with people doing anything. I don't know why pineapple's getting so much hate. I love fruit. I love bananas. I love pineapples. I love apples. I love all that stuff. Whatever feels good to you. I mean, I always say just do you, so good question.
Answer. That's a great answer, man. I appreciate that. Well, guys, that's it. You guys have hung out with me for about the last 45 minutes or so. More so listening to Joe. Joe, if you're listening, thank you so much again for taking the time to sit down and answer some of the questions that we might have had, and then just really letting us get to hear you again and know that you guys are doing well, how the album's going, and all different kinds of stuff. And pineapple does belong on pizza if that's your choice. Man, everybody, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking your time to listen to my babbling, listen to my conversations with you guys, with Joe. I intend to keep doing more of this with you guys, with guys from the band, if I can grab them during their busy schedules. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you a lot. And I hope you guys keep coming back for more. It's because of you guys, the whole reason why I'm doing this. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you guys soon. Later.